Hello, it's good to see you again. This is Patricia, and I wanted to ask you if you have already seen class number 1. This is class number 2, prelim class number 2 of our linguistics, language and linguistics series. Have you enjoyed listening to our free first prelim class on linguistics? I hope you have. As you know by now, in our first prelim class, we presented the starting points of our linguistic journey on linguistics. We kicked around this idea of flipping things. Instead of traditional method presentations in which the teacher first explains and students follow suit by studying on the basis of what the teacher has said to them previously, we try to do the opposite here. We will give you a kick into leading ideas. We will send you links that are worth reading. You will do the reading, you will draw your conclusions, and then we discuss them in our regular classes. We aim to make things easier for you when studying linguistics. Please don't forget to send us your comments or inquiries through our webpage. We'll be pleased to help you along the way. And don't think that linguistics is difficult. It is just a question of working it out. But let us not beat about the bush. Let us cut corners without affecting intelligibility or content quality, and let's go straight to the point. These were important contributions. They were moving, every one of them was moving a step forward. But there's a name here that I should have mentioned chronologically before Hall, because Hall wrote this in 1968, and some years earlier a linguist had emerged with revolutionary ideas. I will call this part the cat among the pigeons. Why the cat among the pigeons? Well, he did cause a stir. Chomsky appeared, and this was a major breakthrough. In his search for the truth, Noam Chomsky put the cat among the pigeons by writing his book Syntactic Structures. Language was, or had, if you want, already become the object of scientific study. No more speculations. No more conjectures. Now, and thanks to Chomsky, language was the object of scientific study. He made linguistics, it became a science with him. He proceeded along a scientific path. And when I tell you some of his premises, you will start to understand. These are the premises that I would like you to think on, to reflect on, and tell me what you think afterwards about these contributions that he made. To begin with, Chomsky started thinking in mathematical terms. He said, when we think in mathematical terms, we know that we have a finite set of numbers. When you count, you can go from 0 to 9. And these are finite numbers. But what about all the figures that you can construct out of these numbers? The number of numbers is finite. The number of combinations of these numbers is infinite. And this is probably what started it all. Chomsky was shedding some light into all the questions that former linguists had posed so far. Mathematics into language, do you think that this is thinking in mathematical terms? Possible. Possible. How so? This is the question that we will have to answer. It was going to be, from now on, the task of the linguist to determine which of these combinations, the possible combinations of those finite elements, would actually form part of the system and which would just be non-sentences. This is what linguists have called the limits of acceptability. How many letters does an alphabet have? Regardless of the language that you are thinking of, you will always encounter, you will always have a finite set of letters. Those letters will eventually make up words. Those sounds will eventually make up words. But the possibilities of combination of those words are not finite. They are infinite. You can make, I don't know how many sentences. You can have, I don't know how many numbers. I mean, combinatory numbers, that's what I mean. And you don't even know whether the sentence that you said before is the same sentence that you are saying now. You don't exactly know. It might be a totally different sentence, and yet it might be a sentence belonging to that language. But the question is, how do you know that that sentence that you are producing does belong to that language? How do you know? We shall discuss the impact of Chomsky's breakthrough, groundbreaking ideas. But the question now pops up. Did he do it alone? Did this come out of the blue? Did Chomsky one day get up and had this vision that things were this way? Or did somebody that preceded him prepared his path? The question pops up, who helped Chomsky reach these amazing conclusions? There is a huge name. Let me tell you now one name that you must bear in mind, because we will go back. We will have to discuss his ideas. And this name is also a very big name in the field of linguistics. His name is Ferdinand de Saussure. Ferdinand de Saussure is a Swiss linguist, the father of structural linguistics, and he was paving the way for Chomsky. When he spoke about the difference between langue and parole, this was a breakthrough. This notion of the difference between langue and parole was the way in which he was answering questions that linguists had been asking themselves for many centuries. And he came up with the answer. That's why we have to think about Mr. Saussure very seriously. I'll also be sending you some links to read about Saussure. His idea of langue and parole appears, his ideas reappear, but in a new light, when Chomsky speaks about competence and performance. How so? Okay, I'm asking you to see if you can read and you can reach your own conclusions. Well, I think I've already given you some hints on what we will be discussing. Review this video, please, and pay attention to the questions. I think that it will surely be a pleasure to share your views on your research. We'll try to come up with some answers to all together when we discuss these and other questions that are sure to arise in our next Zoomed class on May the 9th. Stay tuned, and if you love language issues or linguistic conundrums, we'll be looking forward to hearing from you. See you soon. It's been a pleasure to be with you once more.